we didn't have even a base guarantee. So if there was nothing to do, I'm on a stool right now. You know where this thing's going. Sit and spin, not to mention how much time are you spending on BS warranty complaints. You know, somebody comes in and there's really nothing wrong. It's like a ghost problem with their car because it's a new car to them. They don't know the car very well. And you go on a test drive and then you spend a half an hour on the hoist. Nothing's wrong with it, so you just don't get paid for that car. Or the job should pay 6 hours, it's under warranty, you get paid 3.2. How's it going, guys? Welcome back inside the shop for another video. So we have a discussion-based video today, and this discussion is going to be based off of a conversation that I had with one of my former classmates from tech school that's still working in the dealership. Before we get into that, we're going to go over a few things that are going on around the shop, and I also wanted to say we might do a limited run of the Corey Memorial t-shirts. You can see right here in the center is from our National Forest camping trip earlier this fall. Rest in peace, Corey, and all the proceeds that we would do if I decide to do this would go to suicide prevention and to Lifeline services, stuff like that. On a better note, let's check out what's going on in the shop and then we'll jump into this discussion. We kind of went through and did a massive organization overhaul, but I wanted to show you this guy up here. Zoom out on you. Right next to the money light, we got this Mazda window sticker from 1987. This was in the red Mazda pickup, the B2000. I found this in the glove box when I rescued it from the junkyard. If you don't know what truck I'm talking about, it's out in the parking lot. That wheel right there, along with those that are sitting right there, those will be going on the B2000s. We got that Preston frame. That was actually a birthday gift, so I thought that was pretty cool. Walking over here, before and after so far of the used wheels we picked up to replace the stolen ones. So I got 2 of them done right there. They look pretty good, and I just painted these by myself. Once we wear through this set of tires, you can see the tread on those guys is still pretty good. Once we wear through these tires, then we'll have Jeremy powder coat these, but I just couldn't have them, you know, looking like this going on the car. You can see all the rust and corrosion in here. You can tell they look pretty good. Got them shined up, got the white lettering on there. They look a lot nicer than they did when I purchased them, but what I did to kind of hack this a little bit, I just cleaned in here. Now I can't find it. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. So if we look at the 2 wheels we have left, if I can get it to focus here, look at all that rust and corrosion that's in there. There's a spot right in that hole right here. You can see where this is really rusty down in this edge. There's spots here. Somebody actually tried to touch these up before. If you can see right where I'm pointing, you can see that spot there. And the paint was reacting and I had to sand again. This one right here, I actually did like 3 times before I got it to look like this. So what I ended up doing before I got it to look, you know, halfway decent. So I'm gonna flip you around, show you what we used. So to make these wheels look half decent, what I did is I went and picked up this Gorilla brand truck bed coating. So it's got a light texture to it, and then that's just gonna hide some of the imperfections. So with that said, that's kind of the updates I have for you in the shop. Let's get into the video. Alright, so discussion of the day is going to be one, like I said, that I had with a guy that I went to tech school with, and he works at a dealership locally here. So it sparked this discussion that was like, what's some advice you have for going out on your own and running a shop? And what is some stuff you think you've learned? What has stuck with you the most? Like, what's a piece of advice you can give me? And I said, the one thing that has probably stuck with me the most is you stop looking at the repair industry as hours and efficiency, and you start seeing it for what it really is. You start seeing it as dollar signs. So when you work for a large company, whether it's a corporate dealership or one of the chain companies, Midas, Valvoline, I don't care who it is. When you work for a big company like that, specifically right now I'm talking dealerships, they're a money-making machine, and you are just a cog in that machine, right? Now, don't get me wrong, there's downsides to being a small shop like this. In fact, this week, I had to send a customer, so send money away, over to the Dodge dealership, which is the last thing that I want to do. I had to do that because my scan tool wouldn't read some of the proprietary information that was in the ECU of the vehicle. So, 1, I couldn't read all the codes. 2, even if I could, I wasn't going to be able to recalibrate and program that vehicle, so we had to send it away. So there are downsides, but when you start thinking of efficiency, It brainwashes you, and this is how the dealership works. You leave the dealer for a day. Let's say you're making $26 an hour. I feel like that's a very average number that you would see. I never made $26 an hour at the dealership. The most I was ever paid was like $21.50, I believe it was. So I felt like that was being underpaid for the certifications and the work that we were able to do. But if you start thinking of hours, you make 10 hours one day and you're like, you leave and you're like, God, I had a really good day. I did 10 hours. Well, Uncle Sam gets his cut. You have, your 401k, which is granted all benefits, but you end up getting your check and you're not making that much money. If you were to sit down and look at a brake job, nice and easy, you can knock it out really quick. No one is ever upset about getting a brake job. Let's say it's 1.5 hours to do that resurface and put a set of pads on, right? Lube up the sliders, all that good stuff. You look at that, if you're making $21 an hour after your taxes and everything, that brake job probably paid you like 25 bucks, right? If I do a brake job here, you get your parts markup and you get to keep whatever your shop rate is. There's overhead and things like that, but as of the recording of this video, our shop rate here, which is low statistically in town, is $110 an hour. So if a brake job is 1.5 hours, that means I made $165 on that brake job plus the parts markup. So you start thinking of things as money and not as hours. To put it in perspective, the best week I've had in this little shop, and we were just walking around, right? It's a small little shop, one-man show, it's just me. The best week I had was over triple my best 2-week paycheck that I had at the dealership. And to put it into perspective, my average efficiency was anywhere from 90 to about 110% was where I usually was. So it's not like I was only pushing 60% efficiency at the dealer. I was doing pretty well. Most of the time I'd hit my 100% or a little bit more. And you're still not, it's just ridiculous when you look at the money that you're making, but you don't think of it that way. If you have 2 days in the dealership where you made 14 hours each day, that could be, you could have worked on 8 cars, 10 cars, 12 cars, and you do 2 brake jobs here and you're going to end up making more money. Yes, there are things to consider, like you're now the service writer, you're now the parts runner. We've been over all this, but you just really start thinking of monetary value as it correlates with your time rather than just strictly that number that you're punching in at the end of every day. Yes, I made 10 hours. Today was okay, I made 7 hours. Today was really good, I made 14 hours. But how many cars are you working on to do that? Not to mention, how much time are you spending on BS warranty complaints? Somebody comes in and there's really nothing wrong. It's like a ghost problem with their car because it's a new car to them. They don't know the car very well. And you go on a test drive and then you spend a half an hour on the hoist. Nothing's wrong with it, so you just don't get paid for that car. Or the job should pay 6 hours, it's under warranty, you get paid 3.2. How much of that is factored in there as well? I don't obviously do factory warranty work, it's not a thing, right? I've had parts warranties and stuff like that, but if your business is set up right, you're not gonna get your full rate, but the parts stores that your business is run through are going to recompensate you if there's a parts failure. So there are ways to set your business up so that you can prioritize the time you're spending and the compensation that you are, then receiving. But I think that's the biggest thing. If I came in here and all I had was 1 brake job for the day, and I don't like days like that, but let's just say it happens, because it does happen from time to time, you're still gonna be okay. Like, you're still probably after expenses making, $100, whatever it is, and it's like, okay, I feel kind of good about that. When I was at the dealership, we didn't have even a base guarantee, so if there was nothing to do, I'm on a stool right now, you know where this thing's going, sit and spin, and then there's no work to do. One time at the dealership, I actually sat around until about 3:30 in the afternoon. I left, I went home, and then I get a call, and they're like, hey, your appointment for tomorrow showed up. They were just wondering wait, where are you? I was like, I'm at home. Well, you're scheduled till 4:30. And I said, yeah, and granted, I shouldn't have probably went home, but I was like, yeah, I sat on my butt from 6:30 in the morning until 3:30 with nothing to do, so it actually cost me money to go to work today, so I went home. They weren't real happy about it, but what do you expect? I mean, and so many dealerships are run like this, no base guarantee, and it is beat into your brain that you need to make money for the dealership and get all these hours and hours and hours and hours and hang parts and keep going, oh my God, you got a pizza party because you got 10 hours today. great, I got 10 hours, but again, like I said, my best week in this location, and this is going into our 3rd year in business, was better in 1 week than I got in a 2-week paycheck working for the Toyota dealer. My best 2-week paycheck didn't even hold a candle to the best week I've had here. So again, there's pros and cons, but I think that's the biggest takeaway is you stop looking at hours and efficiency and you start seeing dollar signs and money. I hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion video. It's really interesting. And of course, like I said, there's pros and cons to everything. Running your own business is stressful. There's a lot more busy work and you assume all of the roles of running a shop, not just turning the wrenches. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop me a comment down below, like and subscribe if you've not already. And as always, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.